Brown, the manager and aunt of Tee Grizzley, was shot and killed in Detroit on Tuesday night, August 20th. Comments about her death began surfacing Wednesday, August 21st on social media before her passing was confirmed by TMZ. According to law enforcement sources, a shooter opened fire on Grizzly's Cadillac Escalade while the vehicle was traveling around Detroit. The gunman allegedly approached on foot and shot Brown, who was sitting in the back seat in her left side. Grizzley was reportedly riding in the passenger seat and got out of the vehicle as the shooter approached. The driver said the attacker fired 3 or 4 shots and noted that Brown screamed before the gunfire began. Brown was rushed to a local hospital but died from her wounds. She was 41 years old. Police don't know if Grizzley was the intended target of the attack. He and the driver were unharmed.
From my perspective, this entire story begins when the first and only suspect who has been arrested so far was arrested 2 months after the incident. When Wu Thing, aka Wu 600 from Chicago, was initially arrested for the murder of Tee Grizzley's auntie Jobina Brown, the streets of Detroit was talking almost immediately. People was calling this a backdoor from the very beginning.
Everybody on the mother east side know that, nigga. Them been facts. What you talking about? How the you don't know? What you mean?
Is this not snitching, putting it on them? You feel me? On
You know,
like
everybody who killed everybody and popped everybody, but y'all don't know how Sunday got down on Auntie, though. The bro, what you nigga? What kind of crime reporter is you? What you mean?
People initially thought when people in Detroit was calling it a backdoor, they were referring to OTF or 600 backdooring Tee Grizzley. Because at the time, Tee Grizzley was really close with OTF and 600 through Buka 600. So when a 600 member murdered his auntie, people thought, man, the OTF or 600 like backdoor Tee Grizzley? It wasn't until time went by and people began to put the pieces together. Like, hold on. OTF or 600 couldn't have backdoored Tee Grizzley because the killer of Tee Grizzley, Wu Thing, was arrested in 2019. In 2022 or 2023, Tee Grizzley did a joint album with Lil Durk. In 2024, Tee Grizzley made Buka 600 right-hand mans with the killer Wu Thing his groomsmen for his wedding. So Tee Grizzley was becoming closer, like probably closer than ever, with the alleged parties that murdered his auntie. So it couldn't have been a backdoor, because if it was a backdoor, if he felt like his life was in danger, because Tee Grizzley did multiple interviews saying that they were coming after him, that the shooters opened up the car door looking for him. So if the parties who murdered your auntie was actually looking for you, then you wouldn't be like friendlier with them. You wouldn't be closer with them. You wouldn't make Buka 600 your groomsman. You wouldn't, right, like do a song with Lil Durk or a joint album with Lil Durk. And the only Lil Durk ties here is Buka 600 is signed to OTF. But Lil Durk has nothing to do with this whatsoever. So that's when the theories of, okay, maybe Tee Grizzley backdoor his auntie. Maybe Tee Grizzley set his auntie up to be killed. Now, I have the full indictment of Wu Thing, and the full indictment, I believe, tells a story that leans more towards somebody backdoor that auntie. I don't know if it's Tee Grizzley, but the indictment and the story told in the indictment lends me to believe that somebody backdoored that auntie. Let's get into the full indictment and what evidence they got on Wu Thing that led to his arrest. The police was able to trace the getaway vehicle, which was a blue Nissan with the license plates HRK 4937. They traveled to Michigan the day before, and then 2 hours after the homicide, they traveled to Chicago. The vehicle was a rental car, so when they didn't return the vehicle after the homicide, Hertz Rental reported the vehicle stolen. Even though the vehicle was reported stolen, even though the vehicle was involved in a homicide 2 months prior, Wu Thing was still driving around Chicago in that vehicle, knowing how hot it was. Well, he was parked in the alleyway one night, October 19th, 2019. He was parked in the alleyway.
Niggas be trying to be way too cool, bro. Y'all equivalent cool with dumb shit, bro. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand, bro. That shit was stupid.
The police pulled up because they ran the tags and they seen the vehicle was reported stolen. They attempted to initiate a stop. He ran away. he was eventually caught. He was ultimately arrested and charged for being in possession of a stolen vehicle. But get this, and this is where you really start to look at these dudes like, yeah, y'all are just professional doofuses. So on top of being caught in a stolen vehicle that was used in a homicide 2 months prior, he was also caught with a firearm. And after ballistics was done on the firearm that he was arrested with, ballistics shows that not only was the vehicle connected to the homicide, not only was the vehicle identified as being a getaway vehicle of the homicide of Jobina Brown, but he was also found in possession of the firearm that was also used in the murder of Jobina Brown.
This goofy riding around the same car with the same gun. Like the distance was gonna make a difference. That's crazy.
Ballistics shows that this was the firearm that killed Jobina Brown. This is where we introduce new information that I didn't include in my last video. And this is the part of the video where we start looking at Tee Grizzley a little crazy. We start looking at Tee Grizzley with a side eye here. You see, Tee Grizzley told a story of what happened the night of the murder. Tee Grizzley stated that he was with his auntie / manager, Jobina Brown. They made a last-minute stop at one of his other auntie's crib for him to check on some business. Jobina Brown decided to stay in the car and wait outside because she didn't like germs. He was only going to go inside and come back out right away. It was a last-minute pit stop, right? Let's hear Tee Grizzley tell the story, and we're about to find out why this new information that we received kind of blow up that version of the story. It kind of, not only would I say debunks it, but kind of makes us start thinking that maybe Tee Grizzley is telling some fibs here.
So the night everything happened, man, can you kind of go over that night with us? I know y'all was at the studio. I seen you on your Instagram.
Yeah, so we was at the studio with Guapo and Jay Swan or whatever. And I'm going over my cousin's house, my older cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He was real close with my pops. This is like my pop's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I always try to, you know what I'm saying, show him some love because that's another wound we really ain't healed from.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I went over there and I was telling her, like, come in the house. And she like, no, I don't want to go in. I'm begging her to come in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, certain areas, you just got to move right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't about where you at. I could go anywhere I want to.
Right.
But I got to move right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm moving right, can't nothing happen to me. So I'm telling her to come in the house. She like, no. Because JB was kind of like funny acting about dirty houses.
Okay.
And stuff like that. The house wasn't even dirty, but to her, she just a clean, real clean person.
Okay.
It's like, no, I don't want to go in them people's house. I don't want to sit on their furniture and all that stuff in there. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. So I'm knocking on the door. My people's taking so long to come to the door. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they finally come to the door. As soon as I see her, as soon as I see my auntie,
Mm-hmm.
she about to open the door. I hear a whole bunch of shots going off. You know what I'm saying?
Behind you.
Behind me, I hear a whole bunch of shots going off. So I get down because I'm thinking they about to come to the side and start, you know what I'm saying, shooting at me, and I ain't got nothing on me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin ran out with a gun. I'm like, perfect. So we ran out on the street. When we ran out, my driver was gone with no cars out there. I'm like,
She was in the. So what was the vehicle? She was in the car. Like
she was in the car. She was in the car.
Okay.
She was in the car on the street. So my cousin ran out with the gun or whatever, and we ran out in the front to see what's going on and to, if somebody up on us, we gonna get them off us. Basically what happened, they walked up to my door and opened my door. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas opened my door trying to get at me. Ended up hitting her up.
Where they hit her on the body?
They hit her on her side and her arm. She didn't get hit in her head or her face and just all on her side.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
How many
On the
times?
side where her heart at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on the side like where her heart at too. So that's
Tee Grizzley said the killers were looking for him because he exited out of the vehicle from a specific side of the car. When he exited out of the vehicle, he went to the side porch to get let in. The killers couldn't see he was at the side porch, but they knew what side of the vehicle he was in. So when the killers seen the vehicle was parked, they went to the vehicle and opened up the side of the vehicle that Tee Grizzley was sitting in before he exited out. They opened it up and began to shoot at the auntie because they thought the auntie was him, because they thought he was sitting there. Again, if the killers couldn't see Tee Grizzley because he was at the side porch, that would mean they didn't see Tee Grizzley get out the vehicle because they would have just followed him. Then that would mean the only reason why they would know that Tee Grizzley was sitting on that specific side was because they seen Tee Grizzley get in the vehicle on that particular side and they followed him to the location. Here's why that don't make sense, and here's why the facts of the case actually debunks everything Tee Grizzley just said and sort of opens this case up where anybody can be a suspect, and dare I say Tee Grizzley could be a suspect. Wu Thing kept his phone on the entire time he committed this homicide. I don't know what I would expect from someone who was still in possession of the getaway vehicle and the murder weapon, but he kept his phone on the entire time, and they were able to trace him coming into Michigan and leaving Michigan after the homicide. But they were also able to pin him at the crime scene. And this is why Tee Grizzley's story don't make sense at all. The cell phone towers pinged Wu Thing's cell phone at the murder scene for more than an hour and 56 minutes. So it started pinging around 7 p.m. and continued pinging until 8:56 p.m., which is minutes before the shooting occurred. That means that Wu Thing was at the murder scene for an hour and 56 minutes. He was at the murder scene for an hour and 50 minutes before Tee Grizzley and them got there. So he was hiding out. He was waiting. He was expecting them to come to that location.
Next question is, how did he know to be there? You know, shit, well, hey, if the feds don't get your ass, Poetic Flacco gonna get you.
How did the shooter know that Tee Grizzley and his aunt was gonna be at the location if the location was an impromptu stop? If the location was hey, yo, let's stop right here real quick. How did they know to wait out at that address for an hour and 56 minutes waiting for them to show up? It doesn't make sense whatsoever. And also, if they was at the location for an hour and 56 minutes, then they seen Tee Grizzley get out the vehicle, which will make sense. They didn't see him get in the vehicle because they wasn't at the location when he got in the vehicle. But they seen him get out the vehicle. They seen him walk to the side porch, which is why they came over, opened up that car vehicle knowing he wasn't going to be there, and began shooting. This is just my theory, people.
Why would they start shooting once they see he not in there?
This is the only story that makes sense, people. The only story. I'm not saying Tee Grizzley is responsible for backdooring his auntie. I don't know. I'm saying Tee Grizzley's story got to start adding up, people. It got to start adding up. How did the killer know to wait out at that location for an hour and 56 minutes if the location was an impromptu stop? The killers was at the location. You got out. They could have easily haunted you down, went and got you from the side porch. They watched you exit out the vehicle. They was at the location. And they let you go away, and they came and killed your auntie. What beef would they have with your auntie? It doesn't make sense, people, at all. Tee Grizzley offered up a response, and this is his response to everything you just heard, okay?
I just think the niggas about to go around trying to clear no shit up because it is what it is. As far as like, you know, I ain't about to be certain shit you can't entertain, bro. Especially when it's absolutely nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But you do got a lot of motherfuckers that go to the internet and think that everything they see on that bitch is facts. It's not a place for facts.
Though
You can see some shit dead in your base check that's not true. So you think he can't be fooled by the fucking internet, bro? Bullshit.
it was AI, bro. Come on, Tee Grizzley, friend. It was AI. This shit AI, bro.
So what will the motive be for Tee Grizzley to do this to his auntie, to backdoor his auntie / manager? And they're not blood auntie. Now, I talked to someone who was literally at the funeral of Jobina Brown. They were at the funeral, bruh. Yo, I was told even at the funeral, people were suspecting Tee Grizzley because he did like interviews where like people close to the situation were kind of concerned about the stories kind of not really matching up in certain, in some interviews. I think in one interview, like Tee Grizzley said, yo, it was like a drive-by. They came and shot it up. Then the next interview, they said, they came and opened up the door to look for him and then shot the auntie. So again, those are not really a big deal, but it don't really line up perfectly. I was told from someone particular that even when Jobina Brown and this person would be talking or getting close, Tee Grizzley would get jealous. That at times, like Tee Grizzley would kind of get jealous. And Jobina Brown would tell this person, yo, Tee Grizzley, keep asking me about you, keep asking me why we talking, blah, blah. And Jobina Brown will confide in this person that she actually had an intimate relationship with Tee Grizzley. But the thing with this is, Jobina Brown is Tee Grizzley's uncle's wife who's in prison, I think. Again, don't quote me on this, but I think the uncle is in prison. I think Jobina Brown is the uncle's wife. She's not blood related, but she's related through marriage, I believe. So smashing the uncle's wife, allegedly got her pregnant. According to courtroom reporters, that that was allegedly brought up the first day of trial, that Jobina Brown could be pregnant for Tee Grizzley's baby. So that's a motive. The uncle is in prison. You got her pregnant. She not trying to abort it. Man, that could be one thing.
That's a crazy motive. And on top of that management shit, you know what I'm saying? If she was talking to other artists and possibly about to bring on other artists, she might have to split some money down, or, like most of the money that was going to go towards Tee Grizzley probably was going to go towards other places just so it could all make sense. And that's reasonable for why he was like, nah, I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, getting jealous. So, damn, it's crazy motives for sure.
Jobina Brown invested in Tee Grizzley really early on when nobody else would. Right? It is reported that she apparently owns a portion of Tee Grizzley's masters. He wanted it back. He signed a deal with her like fresh out of prison as like a management deal. He wanted it back. She wouldn't give it up. That could be motivation. I don't know. And I'm not saying Tee Grizzley is involved. What I'm telling you is the facts of this case doesn't really align with Tee Grizzley's story 100% or perfectly. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, okay?
The motives, crazy, and they all make sense, man. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want to believe, you know what I'm saying, none of the stuff about this Tee Grizzley situation, but this Flacco video, damn near just, hey, everything sound crazy as hell. And we know what type of person you is when it comes to the bread, you know what I'm saying? Your RP games series is crazy, you know what I'm saying? Y'all do y'all homework on that, you know what I'm saying? Dive into them little rabbit holes of how people feel like they was getting scammed about the GTA RP servers, man. Until next time, man, I'm Lusky. You watching Lusky Views. Go and drop a like and subscribe to this channel, man. Drop a comment on this video. Let me know what you think about the situation. I'm gone.